ushered into the hospital, and I told the security that we would sign on when we return.
Which hospital was this?
The syphilis.
Butsilong Hospital, this one is a seduce.
Butsilong Hospital, that was the closest.
How far is it from your parental house?
Sikude kangakanani ukusuka kini ekhaya?
Mhlambe mawuthatha ilocal ngoba sasinokuthatha ilocal siya khona eButsilong. Mhlambe kunokuthatha 5-10 minutes.
Maybe if you take a local, we usually take locals to the hospital, about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yes. If you can just raise your voice just a little bit. Yes, you may proceed.
And then ke safika esibhedlela ku reception, and then ngabona la kubhalwe khona phezulu kuthiwa emergency.
We then got to the hospital, the reception area, and then I saw where it was written emergency.
Yes.
And then ngase ngiyaphuma ngoba vele ngangihleli ngasemnyango. Ngaphuma ngagijima ngawungena khona reception ngafica nje osisi behleli ku reception.
I then stood up and because I was just seated next to or close to the door, and then went to the reception area, and then I found some ladies seated there.
Yes.
Ngase ngiyamemeza ngathi ngicela usizo emotweni sihamba nomuntu odutshuliwe.
I then screamed or shouted or said it out loud that we asking for assistance in the vehicle. We are with someone who had been shot.
Yes.
Base bayaphuma ke bephethe umbhede ohamba ngamasondo, and then ngababonisa la sime khona. Bake khona.
Okay. They then went out with a stretcher, and I also pointed out to them where we parked the vehicle.
Yes.
And then ke bafike bavula imoto base bayamkhipha bamfaka bambeka phezulu kombhede, kodwa kusumbona ukuthi akasakwazi ukunyakaza bese bemthatha nje elenga membeka phezulu kwestretcher.
They then took him out of the vehicle, put him on the bed or on the stretcher, but you could see that he was just couldn't move or couldn't do anything, was just hanging there, and then they placed him on top of the stretcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then base bamthatha ke bahamba naye bangena phakathi sase silandela ngemuva.
They took him inside, and then we followed.
Yes.
Thina ke abasivumelanga ukuthi singene eroomini la izoxilonkelwa khona. Base bethi sime ku waiting room eyayiseduzane ne-pharmacy, I think ngikhumbula kahle.
They didn't allow us to enter the room where he was to be examined. They asked us to wait or to be in the waiting room that was next to a pharmacy, if I remember well.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then wathi makusenjalo sisalindile ngaphandle kwase kufika uma ehamba nolongo.
Whilst we were still waiting outside, my mother arrived in the company of Longwe.
And just for the sake of the record, just put the details of the. Yes. 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 names of your mother on record?
Amagama kama
usikhonzile Gladness Khumalo.
Gladys or Gladness.
Gladness.
Sikhonzile Gladness Khumalo.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then uma wafike wasibuza ukuthi bamfake kuphi, and then sambonisa iroom abangene kulona, and then wasidlula waya kulona room lelo.
Upon her arrival, her mother then asked us to where they had taken him. We then pointed out the room to her, and she passed us and went to that room.
Yes.
And then kwathi nje kungaphela ngesikhathi nesingakanani ngezuma eqhuma ngesililo.
And then in no time, I just heard my mother bursting out in a cry.
But what your mother told is it's not admissible. Did she then make a report to you?
Kukhona abakusho kodwa abakusho kunina noma kuwena.
Ngaphambi kokuthi afike kuthina kodwa waqala wakhala ngale, and then ila sibone khona ukuthi ushuthi izinto azihambi kahle.
Before she came to us, she first burst out or she cried at that side, and then that's when we realized that things were not going well.
Yes.
And then mayisefika kuthina uma washo ukuthi bamtshelile ukuthi usenza kasekho.
What other people told you is not admissible. What did you observe yourself?
Asikeke awakusho yena yini owayibonela wena ngokwakho.
Mina uma wafika kuthina washo ukuthi akasekho.
Yes.
So okunye angikwazi.
I don't know about anything else. She told us he's no more.
Is that correct? Your mother then made a report to
Yes.
you? Yes. Yes. What happened further? What did you yourself observe?
And then sonke ke sasesikhala lapho simile sibhlungu.
We were all standing there crying and we were hurt.
Yes.
And then kuthe masahleli kanjalo, and then ngabona kufika ubaba Thwala.
Whilst we were seated there, I saw Mr. Twala arriving.
Who is Mr. Twala?
Ubani ubaba Twala?
Ubaba Thwala ubaba kaLongwe,
Longwe's father.
Yes. And what is his name?
Ubani igama?
uChiko Thwala.
Chiko Twala.
Do you perhaps know how he happened to arrive at the hospital?
Ingabe uyazi yini ukuthi wafika kanjani yena esibhedlela noma kwenzeka kanjani ukuthi afike esibhedlela?
Cha, angazi ukuthi wafika kanjani, ngambona nje sefika.
No, I don't. I only saw him arriving.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then makusenjalo naye bumbona ukuthi ulimele emoyeni, ngambona ehla ngodonga ehlala phansi mayiqeda ukuzwa indaba ukuthi usenza kasekho. Wahlala phansi.
I could also see that he was emotionally hurt. Just after hearing the news that Senzo was no more, he just went down against the wall and sat down.
Yes.
And then I'm sure futhi emva kwesikhashana nje sithile noma ngazi esingakanani, then kwase kufika abafana laba abadlala ibhola beOrlando Pirates base befika noMandisa.
And then after some time, I don't know how much time, but I saw the soccer players arriving, the Orlando Pirates players, together with Mandisa.
And who's Mandisa?
Ubani Mandisa?
uMandisa umfazi kaSenzo.
Senzo's wife.
Yes, you may proceed.
Futhi lapho bekunabangani futhi abanye bakaMandisa, and then mabefika lapha phakathi bangena bavele badonsa uKelly ngeinwele bamshaya.
There were some friends, or Mandisa's friends were also there. And upon entering, they just pulled Kelly by her hair and assaulted her.
Yes, you may proceed.
Bethi kuyena usuze wambulala.
As the court pleases, you may not disclose what they said. What happened further?
Ungakusho abakusho bona yini eyenzeka ke kamuva.
Bamdonsa inwele zacethuka zonke, I think ezu2 ama cornrows awu2 ahlala phansi.
They pulled her by her hair, and I think 2 cornrows fell down.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then ngaya kuMandisa ngamtshela mina ngathi Mandisa lento iniyenzayo ayikho right. Ngoba uSenzo bekangasi umuntu uthanda umsindo.
I then went to Mandisa and said, Mandisa, what you people are doing, or what you guys are doing, is not okay or is not right, because Senzo was not someone who liked noise.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then kwathi makusenjalo uKelly wacela ungena ngaphakathi ayobona uSenzo.
And still at that, Kelly requested to go inside to go and see Senzo.
Yes.
And then wayesethi helezele.
She then asked me to accompany her.
Yes.
Sase siyangena egumbini la bebemgcine khona.
We then went into the room where they kept him.
Yes.
And then uKelly wakhuluma naye.
Kelly spoke to him
Wasemqabula esiphongweni.
and then kissed him on his forehead
Wamkhipha amacici ade wafakile.
and removed the earrings that he had on.
I think wayefake newashi futhi walikhipha nalo.
I think he also had a watch on. She also removed it.
Wayesemvalelisa. Sase siyaphuma eromini.
She then said her goodbyes, and then we went out of the room.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then Thema sesingaphandle. Sase siyakhuluma nalabo besikade sihamba nabo uMthoko noDumelo sasho ukuthi sesiyahamba siye ekhaya ngoba futhi ngiyabona ukuthi kuzofika imedia.
When we then got outside, we then spoke to the ones that we came with, the likes of Tumelo and Mthokozisi, and informed them that we were now on our way home because we could see that the media was also going to arrive.
Yes, you may proceed.
Sagibela ke emotweni but uMthokozisi yena wacela ukusala ngoba futhi wayezana noMandisa.
We then got inside the vehicle, and Mthokozisi remained behind because he knew Mandisa.
Yes, you may proceed.
Sase siyahamba ke siye ekhaya. And then mase sifike ekhaya ngabona la kumele singene khona kwase kuvale ngama-tape lana yellow egate.
We then arrived home, and when we arrived there, I noticed that the entrance where we were supposed to go in, it was now already cordoned off with the yellow tapes.
If we can just briefly refer you to photo 1 of exhibit C. I'm sorry, photo 1 and 2. Yes, photo 1 and 2. If you can just use the photo to illustrate your evidence.
Kwase kuvale ngawona lama-tape niwabona khona la.
The cordoned off with these tapes that you see right here.
And then sase sikhethe ukuthi ngcono sipake la eceleni ke.
We then decided to park on the side, witness pointing to where the vehicle is parked.
What time did you leave the hospital?
Na suka ngasiphi isikhathi noma isikhathi sini esibhedlela?
Isikhathi angisikhumbuli kahle okuyisona sona kodwa kwase ku-late kakhulu mhlampe leko 11 kuya ko-12 kanje.
I can't remember the exact time, but it was already very late, between 11 going to 12.
Yes, we proceed.
And then sase sehla ke emotweni saphakamisa ama-tape sawungena endlini.
We then alighted from the vehicle and then just lifted up the tapes and went inside the house.
That is now you and who?
Wena nobani?
Imina no Kelly noma
Myself, Kelly, my mother,
no Tumelo.
and Tumelo.
Yes, we proceed.
Correct.
And then mase sifike endlini sathola nje kunabantu amaphoyisa abanye be-introduce kuthina beyibiza ngo-brigadier bani bebaningi nje.
When we got inside the house, there were many people, the police, and others were introducing themselves as brigadier, what. There were just many of them.
Yes.
Kukhona nabanye ke omakhelwane lapho.
There were others as well, the neighbors.
Yes.
And then futhi kwakukhona omunye usisi wayi-introduce wathi uqhamuka ku-department ku-government angisazi kuyona yiphi department.
There was also a lady who introduced herself that she was coming from a government department. I just don't know which department.
Yes.
And then ke bahlala nathi sahlala phansi bakhuluma nathi besitshela ukuthi baxolisa ngalokho okwenzakele siqine into kanjalo.
We sat down, they spoke to us, told us that they were sorry about what happened,
Yes.
and also
Yes, it's fine. And what happened further?
kwasekwenzekani.
And then ngithema ngingena endlini mangikhumbula kahle yabona endlini mawuzongena eminyango ekitchen kunestephisana esithile esikala ukuthi ukwazi ukungena endlini kuphezudlwana nje kanje and then phansi lapha ngaphansi kwesitofu kwakukhona ifoni kaSenzo.
Just before you enter into the house, there's just this one staircase that allows you to get inside the house, and just underneath the stove, there was Senzo's phone was there.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then futhi mase siqala ukuthi amanye amafoni mhlambe ngabe akuphi, and then uma wakhumbula ukuthi yakhe ube charger phezu kwesitofu, so futhi bisase lapho.
And when we looked around just to see where the other phones were, my mother recalled that she was busy charging her phone on the top of the stove, and it was still there.
Yes.
And then kuthe makusenjalo masilokhu siqala zendlini, and then phansi lapha kuma tiles kwakunento engazuthi kushile kanje phansi.
When we looked around in the house on the tiles that is on the floor, it looked like it had burnt, or it was a burn mark.
Yes. What else did you notice?
And then umnyango ngemuva wawuhlahlekile.
And then the door that is now at the back, it was damaged.
Which door are you referring to?
Umuphi lo mnyango okhuluma ngawo?
Umnyango wasekitchen.
The kitchen door.
Yes. What else did you notice?
And then kwakunesigqoko futhi phansi sesikhoshi.
There was also a Scotch hat on the floor.
Which floor?
Kuphi? Phansi kuphi?
Khona ekitchen.
In the kitchen.
Precisely where in the kitchen?
Kuphi nendawo ekitchen?
Masondelana nje phakathi kwesitofu nosinki kulelo side le.
Just close to the stove and the sink, just on that side.
Yes. Proceed. What else did you notice?
And then ne crash lesasitsha ngayo itumelo nayo yayisale khona lapho phansi.
And the crash that we were hitting Tumelo, it was also there on the floor.
Sasishaya ngayo notumelo.
That myself and Tumelo were using to assault with.
Yes. Anything else further that you noticed?
Khona okunye wabona?
Cha kusekho.
No.
We're just going to show you certain photos.
Sizokhonjiswa ke iy'thombe ey'thize.
Photo number 4, my lord, of exhibit C. We mentioned a step before getting into the house. Maybe photo 4. Let's show the whole of photo 4.
Ukhulume ngale stepisi ke esikhona nje ngaphambilini kokuthi ungene endlini.
Yisona ke lesi step engikhuluma ngaso.
This is the step I'm referring to. Let's point into the door, the photo.
Can you just use that photo to illustrate or evidence this photo 4 of Exhibit C?
So sebenziseke lesisithombe mayelana nobufakazi bakho usokushilo.
Nasi isigqoko lesi sasikhona la khona lapha phansi.
That's the head that was there on the floor.
Yes. What else?
And then la okushe khona kwakuphezu kweceni kwale khona angazi noma ivalile angiboni kahle.
I can't see properly. I don't know whether this cone is obstructing the place where I said that